you gonna say it? Hello, friends.
Hello, Goofy Geekers.
You're not gonna say it?
I will.
Oh.
Leave alone.
Sometimes. Are you masturbating?
Are you masturbating? I was just going to masturbating. Do you need a partner?
Every day.
Again, why do you need a partner? Then why do we have the second question? That still hurts my brain. Certain things doesn't make sense to me. So what's going on? We have no time.
Living the life.
We are really going to free.
We're just fucking
We're going to have
talking.
fun. We're going to joke.
We're going to talk about porn the whole time.
No.
Corn. We're talking about corn.
I don't believe they're really stuck in the dishwasher. One of those under the table. There is no way she's caught.
There's so much wiggle room.
And at the end,
we're stuck in midair.
They always find their way out.
Right.
Right, Ashley? That's the one.
That's the one she watches all the time. She told me. I gotta tell you something later.
All right, so I gotta tell you about my game night.
Okay. This is with your parents and Shannon.
Yes. So it's with my parents and Shannon.
Still wasn't invited.
Friday.
Keep going.
You don't want to be invited to this.
Yes,
one.
I do.
So we decided to make Monopoly. We decided to play.
You made Monopoly.
We decided to play Monopoly.
Yes.
Do we all know how to play Monopoly?
Yeah.
Actually, you know how to play Monopoly? I assume you do. How long does it usually take to...
8 years.
Right. Thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
So, because we're on teams, that's how we always play, we decided to do teams.
You did teams with Monopoly?
Yeah, it was a little weird, right?
Yeah.
But we have teams for everything, so it's kind of like a thing. So, Shannon and I was a team, my mom and dad, because we figured we stay on one side, and they stayed on one side, so we can kind of... I don't know, not like you can't hear us because we're on the other side of the freaking table, but
yeah.
So we decided to do that. There was a discussion about maybe we should try to break it up, like like my turn, your turn, my turn, my. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we decided to do 2 of their turns, two of our turns.
Okay.
Okay, which has its pros and cons. So I believe I go first. Roll the dice. I land on chance or community chest. I land on one of those different things. So I get a card and I read the card, put it back because it's in the beginning.
Throwaway, yeah.
In the very beginning, those cards do nothing for you.
Yeah, they don't.
Near the end, you don't want to get on one of those things because then it's like you got to remortgage everything to pay the hospital or something. Like. So my mom and dad go, and they land. Shannon goes and she lands on another nothing. Like another nothing. So that was our Monopoly. My parents won in a half an hour.
So you didn't land on any properties?
Literally, we had 4 properties and they owned everything.
Oh my god.
They landed on everything. They had hotels before we even got our 3rd property.
Oh my god.
I landed,
I fucking hate that
I'm
game.
not joking, at least 10 times on chance or community
How many
chest.
hospital bills did you have?
Shannon went to jail like 10 times. She kept right to jail. I was like, boom. Oh, what is this? Let me pick up the car. Oh, go to jail. Oh, look, I doubled, triple like 3 times, double 3 times in jail. Yeah. I was like, we played so bad that we were like done in a half an hour. Then we had dessert, and my mom and dad said, "You want to play again?"
No, with your luck, you would have been there all day.
That fast? Have you ever?
No.
Like, I literally sat there, and my parents were just like, "Oh, Bob, what's your jet? Do you want to buy another house? Oh, we already have 4. Let's put a hotel." And I'm like, and of course, then when we finally land on property, guess what?
It was a hotel.
They fucking own everything. Yeah. And I'm like, it's like...
Just whipping out money. Doesn't that feel like real life for you?
They won, and there were still 2 properties never even landed on yet.
Oh my god. I hate that game.
We had to remortgage everything.
That's Kelsey's favorite game, and I'm like, why? Why is this your favorite game?
No. I love the game. I love the game. the trick is, I realize.
I don't have the patience for it.
I think, again, we can't be like next to like. We should have been that your turn, my turn, my turn. Like, oh my god, it was so bad. I was just like, and when I left, I was like, who loses Monopoly in a half an hour? Like, isn't this a 6-hour game? I was like,
that sounds exactly like something you would do.
It's just like, I sit there going,
like, oh my god, is this my real life?
Exactly.
You should have played the game of life.
The only thing is that the shitter actually worked in the goddamn game. No, but my bathroom works. I'm only kidding. I always just say, you've hit rock bottom when the shit is broke.
Right.
You can't even shit.
Nobody wants that.
When the shit is broke, there's no...
Right.
There's not
You just get an outhouse.
You're done. You're done.
Oh my god.
So
no, that sounds exactly like something you would do.
So we have this live. So we have a live on our on the Goofy Geek Boutique page.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing you didn't go live on that game. Okay, I guess we're done. I would have been like, go Georgette!
3 minutes later, we lost. So
and that's the end of our lives. I hope everyone enjoyed.
So bad. So I'm sitting there and I'm doing this live. And so Shannon says, I've made a lot of products. And I said, okay, well, how many?
6,000.
So, ready for this? The first card I read, this is the number. 137 was the number. I was like, I looked at Shannon like, she goes, we have a live this weekend. Well, last weekend. We have a live this weekend. We have a craft sale to go to. We have like...
Was it? You can tell me later.
I don't know actually. Oh, I think it's at the school. It's at the, I believe it's the middle school. Warren Middle School or whatever it is called. What's it? It's not called.
So all you fans can go.
I know. She's like, I'm busy. I'm super tired. Wait, it's like 3 weeks away. I'm that tired.
Right. I have anything better to do that. I gotta go clean the shitter. I gotta go win at Monopoly.
I swear. I was like, oh my gosh.
I have to go.
I just want to know, like, if this happens to other people or not. Because I just feel like these crazy things seem to only happen to me.
What, the Monopoly?
Just anything. Like, all these crazy things where I'm like, I'll tell a story to someone that'll just be like,
you didn't see that coming?
I've never heard this in my life. And I'm like, oh, good. I thought I was hopefully not the only one in the world.
Oh, this weekend I'm busy. Sorry.
Super busy.
She's on the website.
I'll just get the leftovers.
No, not that website. She's actually making the ad. She's actually the voice.
Ashley's like in the corner of like a phone
Niles,
room.
are you alone?
She's in a foamed room. She's like, are you alone?
She's called your name. Niles. It's been 45 videos. Give it a rest.
No. If I was looking for somebody, I wouldn't be here. Like,
you can meet people?
Like, I'd like to think, where does your life go when you're like, yeah, I am alone. Yeah, I was actually going to do that. Yeah, I would love a partner. Where do I sign? Like, I just want to know who's that person.
There's probably a lot of people that click on that.
Like, just who goes that far?
Is it like a video chat? Like, what is it?
I don't know. I don't go past
Can
it.
you click on it next time?
No. Because you know what's going to happen. Bloop, 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 bloop. Gary, my tripod is broken.
Yeah, there's like a lot of viruses on your computer. Or your phone or whatever you use, whatever. On your device.
Imagine that. No, I just don't get...
Did you click on the... Were you alone or were you masturbating?
I did that too, and let me tell you, it goes down a bad place.
My phone also did this when I clicked on it.
So how was your week?
Oh, it's been a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I'm going to share. It's been long. My grandma came in, and I love her, but she was talking about her funeral.
Woo!
And I don't know about you, but that's not the kind of conversation I want to talk about at work.
Not at work.
In the beginning of my day.
Yeah. Oh, that's right in the beginning?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was
could
like...
totally kill your day. That's like
it was like my second customer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then I had that wonderful customer after. It's like, I'm going to kill myself. But then... and then I had another... 2 customers that were fine. And then my last customers were 2 kids. And they're usually fine. They usually just sit there, let me do their hair, and then they leave. Like, they're super good. Of course not this time.
They heard the stories from the first 2. They were like, lady, we're traumatized.
They're like, you should pay your taxes. No, but one of the kids was just, like, everywhere. They couldn't hold still.
She voted for Joe Biden.
I don't think she voted for Joe Biden. I'll tell you right now.
No, I know. A big
yeah.
Pay your taxes.
But he just wouldn't hold still. I'm like, oh my God. And even the mom was getting frustrated. I'm like, that's just one of those days. And then I got home and Kelsey got the mail and she's like, why did Sammy send you a letter? Like a piece of mail. I'm like, I don't know. Like, open it. Because I was watching.
You owe me $20, bitch.
No, actually, I'm gonna go get it.
She's gonna. She had wings, people, so we don't know if that's really what she's going for. She said her lips were very tingly with the wings, so we don't know.
No, I was washing dishes at the time because I was getting ready to cook, and then Kelsey opened it, and she's like, oh, it's Snoopy, which Snoopy is her favorite because her grandmother loves Snoopy.
Wait a minute. Wait, Snoopy is whose favorite?
Kelsey's.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, I just want to make sure. I wasn't sure if it was Sammy because she's sending it to her.
Oh, no. I think it was just...
to you, not to Kelsey.
Yeah, this is just to me.
All
so
right.
I had her open it.
Yeah.
And I realized it was just to me.
Aww.
And she says...
I feel like this is a crying moment.
Yeah, well... Says, hi, I know it's a little silly, but I just wanted to send you a little note saying I love you and I miss you. I miss our late night chats and all the hip vocab you would teach me. Anywho, I love you and you're awesome and I'm sorry I'm still the annoying sister. Love, Sammy.
Wait a minute, she's the annoying one? I thought Ashley was.
They both are. Oh, she sent one to you too? But anyways, that was enough to make me sob. Cried. Yeah, same. Especially after the fucking day I had.
Yeah.
I looked at Kelsey and I'm like, that's not the day to read it. And I just like bawled my eyes out. And she was like, I'm sorry. And then I started texting Sammy about it. I'm like, I got your letter and I just want to let you know I bawled my eyes out. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's not my intention. I'm like, no, it was just a rough day. And it just made me sad because I miss you. And it's not like she lives forever away. It's just our lives are that's different, you know.
It's weird. That's the one thing I can tell you in my life is that it always felt like we were like, I don't have brothers, but like your dad.
Yeah.
We're miles apart because life is throwing us curveballs, or we're right on top of each other and we see each other every day because the world is going down that road and we're both there, and then. Like, the second you're like, this is nice, your lives go the opposite way again. And then I barely see your dad anymore. Like, and then we live right down the street. It's like, oh, just drive by. So I'm like, I don't, like, you know, it's like, I've gone a few times. The best is when I go and it's like, no one's home. Or it's, hey, I'm heading out. Bye. Sure. We'll catch you later. And it's like, oh. But yeah.
Do you want me to go?
You want me to come
I'll be waiting for you in your bed.
I'm done.
Are you alone? I was trying not to be, but
Gary, you alone?
I hear the ad.
That's the one thing. I still can't walk in your house. Like, I still can't walk. I'm always ringing.
Well, yeah, my door is.
Like, I literally ring the doorbell, and everyone comes to the door, and it's like, oh, like, why is it you? Like, and I'm just like. I don't know. It's just weird walking into the house, and you know, especially a house of girls. Like I always felt like,
what if they're naked?
I had the house of girls with Marin and Jay Lee, and I always felt like there was moments coming out of showers, and you know, I never think the bathroom is always put in the most convenient place. It is to go,
Yeah.
but when you're taking a shower and stuff, it's always in that awkward spot.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I gotta walk, walk of shame, or you're like covered up, or or you do the mad dash. That's why I feel like
I always got changed in the shower at home.
Did you?
I mean, not in the shower.
Stop. I was going with it. I do like after you're done washing, you put your clothes on in the shower. I was going with it.
In the bathroom.
No, my bathroom's small, so there's no way. Like, I feel like there is room, but there's not room. If that makes sense.
I mean, my bathroom's small too, and I still do it. I mean, I don't do it here because I just fucking walk around naked here.
Trust me, the guy next door.
Right,
He didn't even smoke before you guys moved in.
He's up to 17 packs a day.
He was like, I never thought these two gay girls were that good.
Titties are titties. Anyways.
No, but I just always thought, like Saz, I always thought it was the house. And like Gary would joke, he's like, he would always say, I can't wait till Ashley moves out because I'm gonna walk around in my underwear. And I was like, I would have walked around in my boxers with my kid anyway, like boxers, like.
Well, he wears thongs, so.
No, I know your dad does.
Kidding.
I forgot somebody we knew dared to be funny in high school and pantsed them, and there wasn't anything. I was like, oh, Disney. Oh God, you don't wear underwear. Oh Jesus, God.
He's like, I knew you were gonna pants me today.
Who's winning now? We're all like,
You'll never pants me again, sucker. Really, Gary jeans? Doesn't that hurt?
Pants on? Did your mom knit those? Oh. So, I had one of those weeks where it was one of those. I don't know how everybody else is, but I had this week of. I felt like I hit my limit on everything. Like it just like my whole life just went. It's not that important. Like everything became. I don't know. I can't talk for other people, but I know for my life, I hit this what I call ceiling, and then everything just seems to fall into place. Like it just all of a sudden, like I'm like I don't know what to do, and then I hit the ceiling, and then all of a sudden everything falls. Like, you know what? That's fucking not important. That's important to me. That I could care less about. Like all of a sudden everything kind of like starts making these even like file where
I'm still waiting to hit the ceiling.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a trait that I got. Like I started to kind of make myself do it because I used to be. I still stress about things, but when I was younger, I was stressed about everything. And then I had someone talk to me like, you gotta let some of that go. And at some age, I just hit this whole thing where like my life's like, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, and then all of a sudden it just becomes, I'm thankful for A, I'm thankful for B, and I'm good. All of a sudden, everything just kind of starts making sense for me. But this week was one of those weeks where. And the worst thing was, when I did the live, I didn't feel good. I ate something that I think didn't agree with my stomach. And I was trying to kind of push through it. My mom said I seemed pretty dull and not as funny as I usually.
Because I wasn't on, wasn't it?
Yeah, not because you weren't. Probably because I read the first thing. It was 137.
You're like, I'm going to kill myself tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what it was? It's like I can do. This is what like people don't
Well, it's
understand.
a long time to.
A lot of people don't understand when you're doing
improvise.
2 hours of improvising. Like the first hour is easy because you feel like everything's coming. People are writing words, and you're like, bam, bam, I got this, I got that, and all of a sudden, it's like you get to the second hour, and it's like the products really don't change, and you're just kind of like. Oh yeah, and then you feel like you're saying the same joke.
I'm gonna try this one again.
Or you're just kind of like,
yeah.
Haven't
we seen this one 6 times?
The worst is I always try to keep it. It's oh oh my God, I love this one. This one's so amazing. This is so pretty. And then all of a sudden I feel like,
Okay,
out of
pretty.
137, are they really all that pretty? I know, because Shannon goes, do you have to say you really like this one? Because I feel like the others you don't really like. And I'm like, I can't say I like them all, because if I like them all, then people are going to...
This one's not my favorite. Who wants it? I'll give it to you. For this much money.
Actually, that's what I liked about that, Katie.
Oh, yeah.
I could say I could hate everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I had so much fun doing that. I'd be like, hey,
Katie's got to come back.
Well, no, we have a special guest coming on for ours. We're the next one. Not this one.
They're coming?
They're coming. Our
Perfect.
special guest
That's
is,
always good.
Coming right from the North Pole.
Ooh, Sandy's coming? Yes. Or Mrs. Claus?
No. Santa is officially coming.
Mrs. Claus is better.
I know no one will see here, but
she gets no credit.
We're going to get fancy. We have like dual things going on.
Dual?
Yeah, we're going to have... This is big time.
Wow.
We're going to be doing the big time. You know, I'm going to mess it up.
A little ho, ho, ho in the house, you know?
Oh. That's the other thing.
Uh-oh.
That's the other thing. I feel like when I do those, like, there's so many jokes go through my head. And I'm like, can't say that one. Can't say that
Santa's
one.
rated G. Rated
no, not
Y.
Santa, but when I do live, it's just like, I can do like, you know, A and B, but I can't go past.
You need an after dark both.
Yeah.
Put your kids to bed.
All right, so since we're talking about your sisters, what's the one memory do you have that you love about your sisters? Like, do you know, like,
put me on blast like that?
Huh?
You gonna put me on blast like that?
Yeah, right in front of your older sister. There's gonna be like, is there
one
memory, like that one memory that you go to, that the three of you had the best time, like, or when everything goes perfect. She's like, never happened. No, I know it has. So, because I have one memory of all three of you perfect in my head.
What is it?
It's the time that I first, one of the first times I came over during Christmas time, and I brought you all the toys and stuff, and I bought Ashley some. I think I bought Ashley a book or something, and I bought you guys.
Sorry.
No, because I went by your mom.
Yeah.
And your mom's like, oh, they don't need anything, and I'm like, yeah, the kids. Yeah, you need everything. Like, and I remember being like, what? I've been trying to be all sly, but like, what do you guys want? And that's how I got strawberry shortcake, and I got like each one of you something. Mm-hmm. And I remember being totally. She writes.
Perfect with the three of us. Couldn't happen.
No, and I remember you were all young enough that you were all sitting in my lap. Like, you guys were just the right age. You guys were really happy to see me, and I had brought stuff, and it was really a good moment of, like, us all being kind of, like, on the same page, if you will. Like, everyone was happy with each other. Mm-hmm. And then, literally, the next day, your sister hated me.
Can I share a couple? Because there's a couple that I like.
You can throw us up.
So when we were younger, we used to play Barbies, but we had like this giant bin, and I think we gave them all to Marin.
No. I remember that giant bin.
Yeah.
Because you would come over and you would actually dump it out, and your mom would be like, "You're gonna pick this up before you."
Well, every Saturday we'd clean our room, and then just as we.
Yeah, you know what the problem was? I didn't give her a toy every time I came.
Right.
I should have gave her a gift. You like feed the demon. So here you go. This is my sacrifice. Here's another book.
So Saturdays we clean our room, and then right after we're done cleaning it, we'd be like, "It's Barbie time." So we dump that shit out. Which, mind you, it's like those big storage.
Yeah,
things.
yeah. It was a wicker basket, right?
No, it was like those big. Plastic ones. Right, okay. Yeah. So we had houses too.
Oh.
So we'd dump everything out. We pick our houses. We dump everything out.
Did you have 3 for each one of you to live in, or did you have like?
I think we did have 3.
Like the Ashley and then you and Sammy, because I felt like that.
No. Well, what we would do is that we would each pick a house, and then if the house wasn't big enough, which it never was, because we'd have 8,000 Barbies, because we would split literally everything down to the shoe. Oh my gosh! Between the 3 of us.
So, oh my gosh, are you guys the ones who spend like 8 hours
just setting up?
Yeah, and then being like, time to put everything away.
No, we left it for the week. But then because the houses weren't big enough, we built them. I was getting there. And we would like stand the books up and make rooms out of them.
Oh, I gotcha. Oh, yeah. Okay, 1 + 1. Yeah,
yep.
I gotcha.
So, and then like we had cars and like different stuff like that.
Yeah.
Spend all day building it, which mind you, there was like
8 hours.
this much room to walk to get to bed.
I remember your rooms.
Everything had its place.
Yes.
And we also get so frustrated because the books would fall as we're trying to set up. Like, oh, God damn it! Like, you know? But we'd set up for hours and then didn't play. But then throughout the week we'd play.
Right.
Like after school and stuff like that. So I remember doing that. That's like one of my favorites.
This is your room downstairs.
This is my room upstairs.
Oh.
That we did downstairs too, but we were mostly upstairs.
Oh, were you?
Mm-hmm.
With Ashley? Like Ashley's room?
Yeah, that was our room.
Oh.
Ashley had downstairs for a while.
Oh,
How old were we when we switched? You would know.
I only remember the switch. Like I don't remember Ashley being on the. Oh yeah, I do actually.
Yeah, because
I do. I remember her slamming the door one time. Yeah.
Yeah, we had bunk beds.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was we on the Negation game when I came thinking? Yes. And then we only had 2 babies.
Oh, did you?
So it was a fighting. We had dill pickles, which he like didn't move.
I actually thought you were talking about a real like dill pickle. I was like, you guys fought over a
yeah, we just put a face
pickle?
on it.
I'm like, baby. That's what I thought you were gonna say. It was dill pickle. Like like a squished can.
Yeah.
And then you put like a bonnet on it. It was like, and someone had to get stuck with dill.
Well, actually, we were pissed off that somebody got stuck with dill because then there was like an actual like Barbie baby. It was Christmas break of my 8th grade year that we swapped, so 2008.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
So that's not that far after I met you guys.
Right.
Right, so because your man was born in 2007, so I hadn't even known you that long when you guys did. That's probably why I don't really remember it.
So the other baby, like, you could, like, move around, and it was, like, actually, like a Barbie baby.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
so, like, that one was a good one. I think her name was Melody or
we
Melanie.
Don't know. We call it whatever.
And then the other one was dill pickles, obviously. But we'd always fight over it, and because we only had 2, one of us didn't get it. And then I think we only had 1 Ken doll. And that was a fight. But all the rest, like I would get a Barbie for
tons of mommies.
Yeah.
No dad, 1 daddy.
Well, let me
with
tell
sister
you.
wives, she just went from house to house.
No, what we do
making dill pickles.
We had a couple like Barbie dolls that we didn't like, and we cut the hair. And
so that was with the boys?
The boys, yeah.
And no one wanted the generic
But let me just tell you.
No one wanted a generic one, did they? No. There was like, oh, I gotta get him again. I picture Sammy being this way. Be like, I got this crappy one again. It's a guy with his hair all cut. The Barbie. It doesn't even look good. She's like, well, that's how I felt.
We had some, like...
battles?
No, like, naughty brains as kids, too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
like, they were just, like...
Yeah, I know.
Sleeping all together.
I hate that stuff. I hate when we act like the naughtiness comes from, like, what I actually have a very disturbing story.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember all of it, but I've been told some gaps. But I went over... I don't know. I was a kid. Like, when I say kid, like preschool, kindergarten, like that age. And you know how you go over everybody's house, like anyone's your friend, like girl, boy, doesn't matter. And I remember some girl talked me into playing doctor, but she played doctor, like
full examination.
Like I remember being shirtless. It was like, but I was a kid. Like I'm not, no dirty things going on, but just and as an adult walking in, being like, what's going on? Like, what is going on? Like that type of thing. Wow. So, I mean, I hate the fact that we always throw on this whole, like, oh, dirtiness doesn't come until you hit
But I mean,
puberty.
like,
it's natural. You see stuff on TV. You see...
we're sponges. We're like, oh, this is what happens.
Right, because, mom and dad. Right there. That's the biggest sponge right there. Like, you grow up with mom and dad. And and even if you don't grow up with mom and dad, you grow up with the thought of 2 people... couple baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you grew up with two moms, then you're gonna play with the two.
They
moms.
had sex and had a baby.
Right? Like, you know, like that's what you think. And I hate the fact that it's not dirty, but it is dirty. But you don't know it quite yet. You just don't know the gap.
What do you think sex was before you knew what sex was?
Actually, you want it. You want. Oh my god.
Yes, I do want to know.
You love to really, because I have all the embarrassing stories. So I feel like you have zero compared to me.
Probably.
I was introduced to a book and explained what everything was at a young age. I think I was like, I felt like I was 10, 11, which they kind of were like, kind of
getting
there. Like it wasn't hardcore, but it was like a cartoon and explained, but it vaguely explained when two people love each other, they go into bed and they get really close. Really, really close. And when they get really close, the man will... And it kind of explained it. And I was like... But it wasn't like...
The dick went into the vagina.
Yeah, we didn't go that far. There was no, like, porn. It was just... And it would just be, like, cartoons.
And then the ad comes up.
And I'm like 7. I'm like, no, I have my He-Mans.
What's masturbation?
I'm a master. University. I'm on the debate team. I want to be a master. So
I would like a partner in that.
Can you imagine my luck?
Debating with myself?
Like someone comes in and they're like, so are you pro or con? And I'm like, oh, that's not what I wanted. Right. And so I didn't understand that there was different fluids that came out of a man. So, because it didn't go into details.
Right.
So, I would... Oh, my God. I'm little now. Like, I'm littler. Like, you know, I would pee. And, you know, sometimes you pee, it's forceful, and you get, like, a bubble or something, and it would make a reflection in the light. And it makes a little thing, like it would float around and make a thing. And I thought the thing on the bottom that would float around here and there was the thing that made a baby. Because for the longest time, I'm like, oh, you must pee in them.
Ew.
Well, I know.
No, I know.
But if you don't know, no.
That's somebody's kink.
There's nothing as good as what I saw on TikTok. Someone was saying, someone said, I have to go pee. And she says, oh, honey, don't you have your period?
Oh, yeah, that's an important thing.
And did you see that one? They're like, just pee. It's a sponge. And she's like, what are you talking about? And like, didn't understand there's actually like, in his head, there's only like 2 holes. Yeah. Like, you know,
yeah,
like,
most men think that.
Yeah,
so.
Most
men think that. Yeah. I didn't say all men.
Yeah, and it's just, but it's one of those things is, I always think it's funny how the opposite sex has no clue about the opposite sex. And I
because we're not taught it.
Yeah, but it's like this voodoo of talking about stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know until I was in my 20s that women masturbated. Like, I was convinced by my era of time that men were horny, women just agreed to do it.
Well, that was like
just to do it. Like, fine, we'll have sex. Never like, yeah, I really want to have sex. And I was like, fine, if you really want to. Yeah. Like, it was men pressuring women.
Otherwise, they were a whore.
That's the impression that I always got. Like, we pressured women to have sex. Yeah. Which is horrible. Yeah. But that's the impression that I got. And then when I got to a certain age, we had like a, she was older than us. Not much older, like 4 years older than us. She sat down and it was like high school kids, and I was like 2 years out of high school. And she started talking about shit, and they're like, yeah. I was like, wait, what? It was like my whole life changed, and I was an adult. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, is this real? Yeah, where have you been? I'm like, I don't know. I never knew this. Like, I don't feel so bad now. Like, all of a sudden, at that point, I never felt anything was dirty anymore. Like, I didn't. Yeah. Like, everything became not a deep, dark secret. Yeah. Like, you know, because it was like stuff I didn't know. But yeah, I thought that.
Well, when I was a kid, I don't really know like what sex was. I think people just like got naked or whatever, and you know, slept next to each other or whatever the case was. But I do have to say, you know how I was like a chunky kid? I'm chunky now, but you know how I was like a chunky kid or whatever? I was looking at myself in the mirror one day. I'm like, oh no, I'm pregnant. I'm just gonna be so mad at me. Not. Yes, because I didn't know how sex worked.
Well, that's true. That's true.
So I was like, oh my god, my mom's gonna kill me. I was like 9. I was like, oh my god. This baby's gonna come any day now.
Yeah, well, you know what?
You
It's
just-
so
you-
you
Yeah.
think of things in your head
Yeah.
like that. That's so crazy. Ashley, do you have any of those crazy things?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, because it's so hard. Because Ashley always seems to be the level-headed, mature one. Like my whole life of knowing her.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never think she'd just be like, "Oh, I knew that." I'd be like, "Oh, you did." I didn't even know that. Like she always just seemed the
Yeah.
one that was like, "Yeah, I knew that, you idiot." I'm like,
She read everything.
yeah, I know she did, and she always seemed to be like 5 steps.
She was
ahead.
reading Spicy back then.
Like, hey now. No, I used to think that all the time. I used to. There are some things that I would be like, I do, or something would happen, and it would just be like, oh, and then you could tell your guy friends, but you couldn't tell your girlfriends. Like you couldn't tell the girlfriends because I was always taught like certain conversations you have with men and there's certain conversations with girls. But I always seem to get stuck in the girl conversation. And that was always like, I will tell you right now, my whole life spending with women and like friends at school, men. Because I basically had the horse show world was all girls. You guys are fucking dirty. You guys are way thousand dirtier than...
Way thousand.
I will tell you right now, I know every detail from every girl friend that I know. Guys are very basic. This is a guy conversation. Did you go out with Stacy? Yeah. She's hot. Oh, yeah. 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 Take her out?
Dig her out? That's what you guys say?
No. Did you take her out?
Oh, did you take her out?
No.
I thought you said, did you
No.
dig her out?
Did you take her out? Yeah. Did you go a little something afterwards? Huh? I swear to God, you're that excited. You're like, and they're looking at you and they go, yeah, we took the car and we went to Brighton Point. And you're like, oh, and you're looking at your friends, you're like, oh, and of course you get the, oh, because all your friends are all like, you know. So it happened. Oh, it happened. It happened? Oh, well, not it, but oh, we. How close? Oh, let's just put it this way. I'm batting third base. Like I'm in third base. You know what I'm saying? I'm in third base. I'm there. Next time, maybe a home run. We don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna push it. Oh, wow, she's hot. What? How was it? Oh yeah, man. Everything was nice. Everything was nice. You know what I mean? Nice. That's how a guy goes. That's what we get. We get 0 because you know what happened? That guy basically took her out to dinner, kissed her, tried to cope a feel, grab a feel, got nothing, or maybe something, and was too shitless to tell his friends he got nothing. Girls? This is a girl conversation.
Same scenario?
Same scenario.
Okay.
Go out with Bob?
Really?
Okay.
Stacy and Bob?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to stay basic.
I think if your dad come up and pick someone out. Joe.
No, Joe. Okay, Joe. God, I've never met someone who has to judge my names. Jeez.
You picked Bob.
God, I'm trying to stay basic.
He's like a 50-year-old man.
There's kids I went to high school named Bob.
I get that, but not me.
You never had a Bob or Bobby
No.
in your class?
No.
I had 1,000 Bobs in my class. Your dad lives close to one of our high school friends, Bob Catterall, that lives by his house. We went to high school.
That lives by his house.
Yeah,
Bob lives by his house.
Yeah, Bob Catterall.
Okay, go ahead.
Like diagonal from him.
Bob lives. Okay.
Whoa, it's not diagonal?
I don't know who Bob is.
You know Catterall? All right.
No, I don't.
All right, moving along.
Is he over
See,
here?
this is how you mess up my stories.
I'm sorry. You go out with Bob.
So, okay, we're going with Joe. Because there's no Joes went to your school.
You notice how Ashley never answered your question?
I know.
She'll text me later.
She'll never answer my question. So, she's like, I didn't hear the question. Can you just tell me later?
Right. I actually wasn't listening. Text me the question so I'll get back to you.
Wait a minute. How are you texting me first? How did you even know there was a question? Oh, I kind of heard it. So, Joe. Oh, did you go out with Joe? Yeah. Where'd you guys go? Newport Creamery. What'd you have? Oh, we had a BLT. He had a hamburger. He asked for fries. We bought dessert. It was a 2 dessert.
Got the awful.
Like it's like, two awful. Like it was 2 straw awful. So she had a straw. Well, what was it? He picked strawberry. Oh my God, strawberry's
Ew.
your favorite. I know, it's my favorite. He knows me. He knows me. So what happened? She's like, he took me for a ride. We just happened to land at Breton Point, like he thinks I wouldn't know what was going to happen. And he says, what happened? She's like, oh, I leaned in. I put my hand on his leg. Oh, you did? Oh, yeah, because he was so nervous. I could tell he was so nervous. So what happened? He's like, then I went in for the kiss. Or, I kind of made it sound like I went for a kiss. That's another option. Like, I kept being like, getting a little closer. Or I'm cold. And be like, so I scooted over and be like, oh, can you put your arm around me? I'm a little cold. She goes, this guy wouldn't do anything. I was waiting for him to do something. I was waiting for a kiss or something. And then he goes to kiss me, right? And she goes, how was it? And he's like, oh, it was a little messy. It was a little under control. Like, oh my God. It was like, and then I was like trying.
It's like a washing machine.
I was like trying not to, like, I don't know. I think he got my fillings from last year out. I don't know. He started the sucking thing and I wasn't too crazy about it. And you're like, what? And he's like, and then I could feel him touching right here, right underneath my boob. What happened? And she goes, of course I leaned down a little bit because I wanted him to touch me, but I was trying to give him the signals, but he was getting so nervous. He slightly touched me and put his hand. He's like, it was over my bra, but it was still hot. And then it was like, so what happened was, well, after having my, dentures sucked out of my head, she's like, and she's really nice. He's really sweet. I mean, he did get strawberry. I know he doesn't even like strawberry. So we kind of had something. I could tell he was too scared to go any further, and I wasn't trying to push him because I didn't want him to know anything. So we drove home and we had a nice talk, and then he sat there and talked to me. We kissed each other at the door goodbye, and I can't wait to see him again because I think he really likes me. That is a girl. Do you know the difference? Yeah. Guys, you have to pull it out of them. You're like, what? And guys, that whatever he says
vague
is vague and it's
wrong.
and it's 30 steps.
Yeah.
Like he's already married her and had a kid, and you're like, and a girl, you get details beyond details because they throw you right under the bus. It's like, and
they're still on the ambience of Newport Trivia.
Like, I remember one time hearing a story, and I won't say names because even though I know they're not watching, but I'm friends with them on Facebook, right? She's like,
Likely story. She's cleaning the bathroom.
Yep, we know what you're cleaning. We can see you. That's a new name for that.
No, you go to the bathroom. It's not called the bathroom.
So,
She didn't want to go to the bathroom.
I don't know if I could say that in a room, but
well, some women,
Well, it's a nice place to visit. I don't know if I want to live there.
Am I in?
Route 95. Can't feel you. The one thing one time my friend was telling me about a guy who couldn't figure out her bra, and she was too embarrassed to do it herself. It took him almost a half an hour to figure it out.
I would have just pulled it off at that point.
Yeah, but we don't because we're afraid to rip it, and then if God forgive it's a favorite bra. See, a guy is afraid to break the mood. Mm-hmm. Because if you break the mood, you ain't going to get nothing.
Yeah.
A girl controls the mood. So if she's like, hey, you do everything I want, everything will go good for you. You mess up, your life will be over. And I was like, so what happened? She goes, excuse me, she said she landed up like being real slick and like unhooking one of them. Like she kept trying to undo it herself, but not let him know her hand was there. And I was like,
how'd that work out?
I was like, how are you
I need details.
Well, no,
yeah.
But that's a girl talking.
Yeah.
A guy will never say he had a problem with
anything.
Yeah. Guys were like, they're
gonna
like,
hurt his ego.
No, this is a guy. I've heard this. Oh, I went all the way with Stacy last night. You did? Yeah, in my car. In your car? You know that Mustang you have? Yeah. You don't have a back seat? Oh, no. We did in the front seat. I was like, you did in the front seat? Oh, you put the seat back? Like, there's no room. How the hell you do that, like, in the front seat? Oh, yeah, no, it was okay. Like, magically, every guy makes it, like, clothes fall off like that. Mm. And, like, it's just like, oh, I just touched it and it fell off. He's like, no, it didn't. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? You know, and then when I tried it, that's the shift gear. Here, let me get my pants. Hold on.
Wrong shifter.
Hold on. Oh, you gotta take off your shoes. Oh, I gotta take off my shoes. And that was like, that's not romantic. Like, doing anything in the car is never romantic. Like, it's never as, like, everybody who makes it sound so quickie or whatever is so not hot because the pants is halfway down. And the worst is when you do the shuffle. It's when your pants down and you can't get it up in enough time and you're doing the shuffle.
You know that bra situation that you were just talking about? Yeah. It reminds me of that episode of That 70s Show where Donna had like the like the lock on it.
Oh yeah.
And he's trying to figure it out.
You'd be amazed. And they don't tell you, and it's not like we grow up with something that you go in and they go, oh no. And girls always seem to do that. You can take it off. It's like, bitch, you do this every single day. You can't throw us a bone. Like, they just know. You gotta learn. We know.
Or we change it up and we get the front class.
Oh my gosh. And then you're looking at it going, it's not like the back. What is this? It's because it's only one hook. Yeah. And you're like, and it's so like easy. It's so complex. And it's like, oh, by the way. We'll just pull it down. We'll just pop one out. No, but it's like this whole thing that, and especially in my generation, I mean, I can't really talk for yours, but in my generation, it was every single girl just would be like, oh, and then they would tell their friends how we flopped and bombed. Like, you'd be like, yeah, I had to be home at 11. He didn't get my bra off until 10:59. Mm-hmm. When did he start? At 10. Like, and there's certain things that, like, and that was the hardest thing.
That's the best part about dating girls. You know how to do everything.
Yeah, I know. That was the hardest thing for me, was going to hear that at, like, the horse shows with the girls and hearing such the different view, and then going back to, but even though I never heard about masturbating, I would always hear the dating thing. Yeah. Or always what they wanted. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that. Like, I thought in high school I had the whole game plan because I knew, like, you
had both sides.
Both sides. Yeah. And actually, it just hurt me. It really did hurt me more because I was neither a bad guy. So me being this mysterious bad guy was a joke. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, you don't know what I had for dinner last night, and I'm not going to tell you.
Congratulations.
Turned on by my mystery, aren't you?
I can smell it on you.
You had something with curry, didn't you?
I think you're sweating it out.
No, but that's the craziness of it all. So it's not, I don't, like, going back to you as kids, I don't think it's a bad thing because it's just what you knew. Yeah. You didn't know any better because playing house, that's what you do. You get a boy doll or two girl dolls. It's been, especially now you can see the world. If you grew up with two dads, you're going to play with two, you're not going to have moms or you don't understand all the details. Yeah. Or maybe you do because that's the way you were brought up. Like, daddy and daddy didn't have you. We had another mom. We had another woman, had baby, had you, and daddy and daddy loves you, or dad, whatever names you guys have. Which I'm always weirded when you have, like, oh, mommy, and it's like, oh, your name's mommy? Then what are you? Oh, I'm mommy too. So, like, that always weirds me out.
Well,
like,
it's funny that you say that because when I was talking to Jonathan,
shouldn't it be like mom and dad? Oh yeah, that's a good one. What do they call them?
He calls them mom.
Both
of them. So I'm always like, which one? And he would tell me the name. And I was like, okay, continue.
Yeah.
Because it's like I need the backstory.
Yeah, because it's like you don't know who mom is. Mom is, even though mom is both. Yeah. But you would, I don't know. I don't think I mentally could do that. I'd be like, okay, you're mom, and you're mommy, or you're
your mama,
your mama, and your mom. Mm-hmm. But that's how the way.
Did you watch that Family Feud? It was a TikTok, but it was a Family Feud. It was like, what are different names to say mother?
Oh, is that the one who?
Mama.
Yeah, she kept saying it like,
how
mommy.
About mommy?
Mamo, and you're like, are you just going?
Nana.
But it was Nana, wasn't it? They kept saying Nana.
I'm like, Ma, just Ma, like yelling at her.
You know that's the worst. That's the worst. Is when you're yelling at the TV. You're like, what's your favorite color? Carrot. You're like,
carrot?
No. Oh, the best one I've ever heard in my life was there's been two game things that I watched that I was like, literally, I was watching with my ex-wife, and I said, "Did they just say that?" And she looked at me and she goes, "Yes, they did." I went, "Good." Was what month do you start showing when you're pregnant?
April.
That's what they said. They said September, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. September, and I'm like, so everyone in September starts showing.
Maybe that's what I was.
You were 9.
I think it was around that time. Well, that's like watching Miss Congeniality. What's the perfect date?
Oh, yeah. And you're like,
I'd say, what was it, like August 26th?
Yeah.
Not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light sweater.
And this one is my favorite one because it's an old one. It's with the Newlywed Game, and it's old. Like, it's one of the original ones. And the guy says, "What's the craziest place you've had whoopee?"
That's sex.
Yeah, whoopee is sex. Because back then you couldn't say sex. So you said whoopee.
Made love.
I don't even think you could say make love. That's
really?
Why it's called whoopee.
Oh, wow.
It was called whoopee.
Whoopee.
So what do you think her answer was?
I don't know. Bed.
Not even a smile on her face. Not even. She looked to the other contestants, because there are other wives there, and she says, "My ass." And the guy was like, "No, place, like,
bedroom, car, something."
Swear to God, looked at, because they beeped it, but when they beep it and they don't, because this is before the whole
blurring
pixel, like, and when I looked at my ex-wife, I said, "Did she just say that?" This is a 1970 show, like 60-something show, like, because you can tell like their outfits, and she's like, "That lady just said ass." Did they have anal back in the 60s? That's what my ex-wife says. "I don't think they had that back then." I'm like, "Yeah, they did, but okay." Okay.
One of my clients who, she passed away, but she went to her grandson's, her soon-to-be granddaughter-in-law, whatever, bridal shower. And one of the games that they played was, like, where was the weirdest place you had sex or whatever. So they're saying, like, "Oh, the beach. Oh, this place. Oh, that place." And she goes, "My priest's house." And they're like, whoa, hold on. He had retired. He moved away. They were going to visit him. And they had sex in the spare bedroom.
I've actually heard some doozies. I've heard some doozies where I just go, "You said what now?" They're like, "Yeah."
Like what?
Are you really?
Yeah.
All right.
Your ass.
I had
your ear.
Bathroom. She didn't find that funny.
No. She's too busy cleaning.
No.
Right.
No. One was. You know what the worst thing was? One, my friend was telling me, and okay, he's a dog. I won't say his name, but he's a dog. Like, he's a dog. Like, anytime, and no matter who it is, like, he's one of those guys. Like, the best comment I ever got from him. And I said, "I don't know. She's not that pretty. She's really nice. I might go out with her." And he goes, "Nas, this is how I live my life. You don't fuck him in the face. So move along." I was like, "Wait a minute, move along. Just date her." I was like, "What?" Like, wait a minute, what? That's your motto? Like,
just eat her.
It's like,
when in doubt, eat her out.
He's like, "That's why we have pillows." He's like, I'm like, "What?"
You wear this paper bag
with the handles. I don't want to take them off prematurely.
Right.
No, he was telling me one time. He's like, "Yeah, so me and this girl hooked up," and I was like, "Oh," and he's telling me about. I was like, it was at a wedding, and I was like, "Oh," and he's like, and she's one of the bridesmaids, and I was like, "Why is that like a thing? Like, everybody hooks up with the bridesmaids," and I was like, "Are they normally that way, or is this just on weddings?" And she's like, I don't know, I hooked up. And I was like, where did you hook up? He's like, I don't know, we found this little boy's room, kid probably like five or six. And I was like, so he's like, he had a race car, so we just did. I was like, you had sex on somebody's kid's like race car? You don't even know? And he's like, I didn't even know the house we were at. I was like, did you know who was getting married?
There's a line.
No, he was like, he's like, no, trust me, I know him, and he would. And I would be like, yeah, I would find the bathroom before I find that.
I do it on the floor before the race car.
Yeah, I know. I was like, dude, that poor kid. Like, you don't know. He's probably like, he's like, yeah, he was a dog.
Yikes. Poor kid.
Yeah, but he wouldn't know. But still,
no. But
it's just
I
kind
can
of
just
like
imagine like him finding stuff.
I heard on one time it was someone says, "Oh I had a friend's son who couldn't stop masturbating in his mom's bed."
Oh, you did tell me this.
And I was just like, I don't understand the 1+1 here. Like, this is the last place I would want to go.
Mommy.
I like the last, but he's not like that either.
Yeah.
He's a grown, and before I say any further, he's a grown man, married, happy, normal kid, but he just got stuck on something that was like really weird. And I was just like, why? How could this even remotely turn you on? Like, I don't know. Like, anytime I did was like the privacy. Like, aren't you afraid to get caught? Like in your head, like when you're a certain age, you're afraid someone's going to like walk in, or like when you walk in, can you act like you're sleeping?
Right.
You can't, but I can. You know, because it's kind of hard.
I didn't have those as a kid.
No, I know. But it would always be like, "What are you doing here?" Like,
oh my god!
No, that's what it was. You would bang. You would always bang. You're like trying to jump in bed because you'd be like the position to do it, and then someone would walk in and get instantly in your head. Instead of just stopping and just like close your eyes, you have to like flip to your side,
right?
Because you're in your head, have to hide everything,
right?
Because that's in your mental thing, and then you end up hitting the wall, the bed, like you know what I'm saying? It's like, or your toy would go flying, your stuffed animal, and you're just like, wait a minute, what's the time? Come here. I remember in high school, there was a kid we bet to masturbate in the back of the bus. Yeah. And he did. And I just remember being like, they're like, "Hey, you guys," I'm like, I am not watching that. I was like,
there's a line.
I don't understand. There was. Everybody goes, "Here you go and do it." And he just.
Oh, there's a line to see it.
No, yeah, there was a line to see it. I didn't even get it. I was like, why are we so. Like,
the bus driver didn't do anything?
Well, it was one of those, like in our day, we were allowed to move seats. So when the bus stopped, you were allowed to move seats as long as, so it became a rumble. And when the rumble came, you know what the rumble is, right? Like, he's gonna do it. Everyone in the bus stop would go one more seat. And so all the seats, and you were allowed to kind of, like now, you have to sit forward, you have to sit on your ass, you can't. And on my day, you could sit on your leg, on your knee kind of deal. Yeah. You know, put your back on the window and be like, I'm hot. And that's what the best thing was, like on those really kind of like rainy, hot days where you could put your neck on like the cold, like the wet window and it'd be like nice and cold on your neck. You know.
You always get that one bus driver where you're riding on the windows and like, stop riding on the windows. I'm going to have to clean it up and
Yeah, and you're just like,
I'll give you a paper towel if you want to see out it. I'm a little traumatized. Not traumatized.
Well, I was the wise ass. I'd be like, great, give me the spray bottle, I'll wipe it down, and if it fogs back up, I can try again. And everyone would be like, ooh.
You would be.
Huh?
You said you would be.
I was. Oh, I can't tell you. My biggest thing in my day was I used to sit in the very back. Because the very back was for the coolest kid. I always sat in the very back.
Yeah.
No matter, even when it was the high school bus and I was in middle school, I sat in the back. Because I figured that was the coolest thing.
High school and middle school went on the same bus as you?
I didn't tell you. When I was in middle school.
No, I did know this.
Yeah, in middle school, my bus, I landed up being picked up by a high school bus, which you can't do now. But so I used to sit in the back. And so did you guys have the intercoms? Because we had intercoms.
Yeah. Mr. Perry, all the way in the back, Mr. Perry.
Yeah, what do you want?
Can you lower it? We can hear you quite loudly up here. You're being very, very loud. Can you please stop?
Okay. all right. Of course, me being me, I'm
You got
very
louder. Very louder.
That's it, Mr. Perry. That was your last chance. Can you please come up to the top of the front seat right here, right next to the bus monitor? You have to sit right next to her, right next to the bus monitor.
Okay. Run up, sit down next to the bus monitor. How you doing? What's going on today? What are you doing? I like your outfit. You look nice today. You going out? You married? You go out with somebody? And I would just start.
It made it worse.
And then she would go, okay. Then I had to sit the opposite seat from her because I was talking too much.
Yeah.
So I had to sit on the opposite seat.
Right. You can still talk to her.
And then I'd just be like, so what are you doing today? And I can remember all my bus drivers practically. And I'd be like, oh, so where are you going today? So how's your husband? Because then, they would talk to you at first because they would think like, oh, this is not a bad kid. He just got a little loud. And 2 days. 2 days.
Miss Perry, can you sit in the back door?
Exactly. All right, you can go back there now. All right, okay. Nah, go back. Listen,
Are you
just
sure? Because
keep
I
it
can
down.
stay here.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I kind of like it up here now. I kind of like it up here because then people, and then what happened was everyone in the back of the bus would start coming to the front of the bus because I'd be joking with the bus driver and stuff, and then it became like the place to be, and then all the kids would come, and then it got louder in her ear because we were right on top of her, and then she'd be like, "Go away,"
right?
Like all parents do, which I've done to my kids several times. So I went to the back of the bus, and then you would go like a month or so,
Mr. Perry, can you go?
because they would forget. And all of a sudden they bring it up, and then we'd have a new bus. Because back then, a bus monitor was like a dime a dozen. Like we always seemed to get a new one like every 4 weeks or something. And it was always just like, oh, what's your name? Hey, how old are you? You seem young to be here. And I would just be like, and they're like, and I swear to God, one was like, I swear to God, this kid's hitting on me. I was like, I don't care.
I'll take what I can get. Pussy is pussy, you know?
Bus 13. I was in middle school, and it was a high school bus, and this lady had to be in her 20s, driver. If she's not, she looked very young. And I had a crush on her, man. Woo-wee. I always wanted to get in the front of the seat. And she ended up having a kid, and so she wasn't that young. Or maybe she was. It's hard to tell back then. You ever notice that? When you're real young, everyone's old.
Yeah.
And then somehow you get to an age where you just feel like, I don't know how old you are anymore.
Yeah.
Like, especially now, I can't. Like, now people are like, do you talk to girls? I'm like, nah, I don't know what age. I'm like, I literally feel like I talk to a 30-year-old woman, and they're like, oh, I'm 8. I'm like, what? You're 8? Yeah, it's just the makeup. Hold on. You're like, oh, okay.
Sorry, my tits were out.
You're like, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm just getting older, but it's like I can't do the age thing anymore. That's
no, I feel that.
I'm like,
because I see like high schoolers now. I'm like, aren't you like middle school?
Yeah, every high school. My day in high school, I feel like people had facial hair, or like every senior had like 4 or 5 facial hair, like that 1 or 2 men of all men of in the grade, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And now I feel like I saw the senior class this year, and I'm like, is this 8th grade? Like the seniors, I'm like, where's all the adults? Senior
8th grade?
I'm like, where's the adults? Even the girls don't even look.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the same attitude, because when I was in middle school, you wanted to date the grade older, and when you got to high school, you wanted to date like the senior, like when you were a freshman, sophomore, you wanted to date a junior, senior. When you got to be a junior, you wanted to date someone in college. Like you wanted, or date someone older. Like I always felt like we kept going, and that's because of maturity age too. The girls, no matter how much we matured, the girls in our class were already 5 years older than us. So they were like, "No, we want real men." We're like, "We're real men." You're like, "No, you're not." You still laugh at fart jokes. Well, fart jokes are funny.
They are funny.
And I don't know. So your grade was that way too, though. But because
I wouldn't say like necessarily. Because there was a lot of like dating in my class.
No, I meant like, yeah. Well, there is. I'm not saying this now.
Yeah.
But I felt like, no. What I'm saying is, I felt like because I went to yours and Ashley's graduation. Her parents invited me, not her, to the graduation. You invited me to yours, so
yeah.
like your classmates all seem to be like adults.
Yeah.
Like they all looked like adults. Like, you know, you'd be like, oh yeah, those look like, you know, young ladies, young men. You know what I'm saying?
I also didn't have any friends in my class. Like I had like friends, but not like friends I would hang out with. You know.
But you didn't look like you had a lot of like.
All my friends were older.
Yeah. When I went to Ashley, they all seemed older.
No, I think she had like friends in her class.
Yeah, but they all looked older though. They don't They look like, okay, these kids are seniors. This kid looks like, or I could confuse them for a college kid. Mm-hmm. You know, like, oh, what are you?
I hated.
What are you, 20? And he's like, oh no, I'm 18. I hated mine. So
I didn't have any like friends. Like I would just like huddle with these people. Like, all my friends had already graduated.
I had friends, but like my hardcore friends. Like when I say hardcore, like your dad's my serious friend, but I had like some really good friends who I felt like really looked out. They all graduated.
Yeah.
All before me. Like I've said this a trillion times on this thing, but my freshman year was my senior year. My senior year was my freshman year. I felt like I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And it was just like hell. And I don't know. It's just a weird type of world we live in, and I think a lot of it is just things we don't. I want to talk this real quick. I listen to true horror tales on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So what they're about is the true story. Horror tales are about people who've lived through situations that are true, that are really scary. For example, I'm just going to throw this one out because it's right on top of my head. A guy pulled up and said, hey girls, I've lost my dog, and showed him a lead in a car. Can you help me find the dog? Now, you all know this like right away. Like I tell this tale and everyone goes, oh, I've heard this 1,000 times.
I haven't heard this one.
You've never heard this one? This is 1,000 times. Like this, like in the 80s, this was like brand new. But I feel like by the time I graduated high school, everyone knew the story. Like if someone lost a dog, you know,
I mean, I could probably tell like where it's going, but I don't know.
Right. So there's two little girls, and one little girl walks over. And the one little girl walks over, the guy ends up being like, get in the car and help me look for my dog. And she's like, yeah. And the other girl's like, this doesn't smell right. This doesn't. And so the little girl the guy landed up grabbing the little girl arm and tried to drag her in, while the other little girl grabs her like legs, body, and tries to pull her out and holds on to her, and the guy starts taking off.
Oh my God.
Now, this is an old story. Like this is like
new to me.
No.
Yeah.
This story is not. It's as much as it's not told 100 times. It is like I remember hearing this, but not this story. Mm-hmm. This happened just out of the blue. And this is when you used to go outside. So this is in the, I believe this lady was older than I am. So this, it was in the 80s, and I think she said it was like 84 or mid 80s or so. And she's already, I think she said they were like 9, 10, or 11, something like that. So this lady's older than I am.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh my God, I've heard about this. Like, don't, stranger danger was very big in my day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, so she grabs onto him. The guy finally lets go because the girl's being dragged and she's screaming, and she's like, and she ends up telling this whole tale, right? Mm-hmm. And it's a true story. Like it's a true story. Mm-hmm. And so, and I don't know about you, but that actually scares me more. Like, wow.
What happened though?
The guy grabbed her.
Yeah.
And went to take off. And because the other girl held on and kept screaming, was making a scene. So the guy was better off letting go because he knew he couldn't bring her in because the other girl was holding on. Yeah. So he had to let go. Let go. Don't forget, there's no phones, there's no cameras, there's nothing. So they let her go, and she explains how she gets rose rash, and the girl ends up getting traumatized. But in the paper, they had found a girl the next town over, like naked and dead. And was it that guy? So they think so this woman is assuming it was that guy telling the story years later, and it there's two places that do it. There's a place called Uncle Unit, and then I think it's Read This or Read Something, and it's horror things, but it's true stories. So people send in their stories, not stories like life events. Yeah. And now in my day, I remember people pulling up. Like I told you a story about a couple dropping off a baby to me and letting me babysit. I was like in 6th grade, and they took off. And they came back. But my mom, when I went to their house with the baby, I went to my house because it was like right next door. I said, I'm watching the baby. I'm supposed to get back there. My mom's like, you have a baby? Like, what is wrong? Who leaves it with a 6th grader? And they came back and they gave me like $10 for watching the kid. But what happened?
I feel like I was babysitting at that time.
Yeah, I know, but who leaves their
Not
kid
like a
at
stranger,
park?
though.
Yeah, that was a stranger. I didn't know.
Oh, it was at the park?
Yeah, I was at the park.
What the fuck?
Like, they're like, hey, we want to go down and get something to drink, blah, blah, blah. Like, so we're going to pick up some lunch. But they didn't want to take the baby. And I was like, oh, I'll watch the baby then. And so they were like, okay, great. And they gave me the baby and they took off. And they came back and gave me $10. But you're talking about...
Right.
I
know it's a whole different...
I'm in 8th grade, so... No, I'm in 6th grade, so this is 86.
Yeah.
Whole different reality what
Yeah.
it is now. So this whole thing's about these things. And the one thing that I've realized about your generation and my generation is my generations, we weeded out the idiots.
Mm-hmm.
We weeded out the idiot, because when you hear all these stories, you go, why would you do this? Why would you walk there? Like they talked about one kid. We listened to one story of his best friend died.
Yeah.
Because they went into a house they shouldn't have, and there was a homeless guy, and ends up killing him. Ends up stabbing him as a kid's trying to get away. And he tells the story. And I don't know you, but it hits me because I was like, dude, I've gone into... Well, I talk about going to the barn and look, like, how do I not know there was a homeless guy there? It freaks me out. But it's a weird freak out. It's a reality freak out. Then I think, like, to myself, like, my kids don't fucking go nowhere. This can never happen to them. They can never know not to do this, or I'm going to do this, and bad things. One, they went to a house and he fell through the steps and tore his knee.
Jesus.
But there was a homeless lady outside. They were too afraid to leave, so they stayed in there while he was trapped in the stairs. And they were afraid she was going to come in, and they ended up stealing all their because they camped out by this house. Like it was young kids trying to do like camp out next to the haunted house, and a homeless person ended up stealing all this stuff, and they didn't even care. Because he had messed up his knee, and all they wanted to do, they never were so scared in their whole life. And you hear these stories, and okay, I'm sure somebody out there, well, the only person's Ashley, I'm sure out there will say, oh, some of those aren't real. Some of those, if you live in the 80s and 90s, yeah, we did that crap. Like, I remember walking into, I went down here on Ocean Drive and went to an abandoned mansion one time with flashlights. And half the place was rotted. It had beautiful, like, tiled floors. And I was trespassing. I was doing everything wrong. But yet I did it.
Jeez.
Oh,
we're too vanilla for that.
All right, we'll talk more about this next time, I guess. Unless Ashley has a topic which she wants us to talk about.
Right.
But I feel like we're going to chit-chat some more because... I actually like the chit chat because we can actually kind of compare our lives. Because
how vanilla I am compared to you.
I still have to give you this website. Like I got to figure out what it is because it's like there's one thing called True Stories. There's like 600 and some odd podcast. They're like 50 minutes long.
Okay.
And you just listen to one, and it's all about just people living life in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And then telling their tale. And I don't know. Maybe if they're all lies, they're so realistic because I know I've done enough of those things that some of those things could have easily happened if things didn't go right for me. Alrighty.
We won't be here next week.
We won't be because it's Thanksgiving next week. Yeah. So happy
Turkey Day.
And happy Thanksgiving to you.
All right.
Are you guys going over your parents' house?
We're going to Kelsey's parents' house.
Does anyone spend any time with mom and dad, or is it?
They're going to grandma's house.
Oh, plenty of red wine.
Yes.
Which Pat?
Yes. Turkey.
Oh, I thought it was a dead face. I was like, oh, poor Ashley.
All right.
Alrighty, guys. We'll catch you next time. So we'll see you in a week or so. And we'll see you guys in a week or so. Thanks, Ashley, for watching us. We love you. Bye, guys.
Bye.